clap.
Yo.
What's up, evolutionaries? It's your boy Callie, and I'm back again with another video. If this is your first time tuning into my YouTube channel, welcome to the evolution. And if you are a returning viewer, as always, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for always tuning in to be here for the evolutionary life of Callie. Today's video is chapter 22, goal number 10 in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals series. And just to share a little secret with you guys, today's topic is actually the inspiration of why I started this series. And today's topic is reduced inequalities. If you know me in reality, by reality I mean if you know me face to face, or if you've had any conversations with me, I'm a person who's I'm a person who's always speaking about equality between genders, races, social backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds. I'm always talking about that. And so the day when I decided to do reduced inequalities, or it wasn't specifically reduced inequalities, but it was a video that was going to be speaking about inequalities, I was doing some research and I realized that it tied into these 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and I was like, this seems interesting and it seems like something I can take on. And then I said, you know what, I can wait until 11 videos before I get to do this one. And so I decided to put it on the back burner and do the other goals and then come back to this one, which is what I really wanted to do. And so you can just believe how excited I am to talk about reduced inequalities today. Let's get into it. As you know, the video will be split in 3 parts. I'm just gonna hurry and speak about this part, the overview of what reduced inequalities are or is. The second section will speak about the 3 main targets that the United Nations has implemented in the achievement of this. The third and final section will focus on progress and information, my brain space. So yes, let's get right into it. What does reduced inequalities refer to? Reduced inequalities refers to the state of being unequal, especially in status, rights, or opportunities that have become smaller or less in amount or degree. Basically, the aim is to get rid or reduce all of this. So reduce people not being equal based on their status, their rights, or opportunities. We want to eradicate all of that so all of us can be on the same level, regardless of any of those things. The tagline of this video states, goal number 10, reduced inequalities. Reduce inequality within and among countries. Very straightforward. So the tagline is, goal number 10, reduced inequalities. Reduce inequality within and among countries. Important facts. Important fact number 1. The pandemic is likely to reverse progress made in reducing income inequality since the financial crisis. Important goal number 2, the proportion of the global population who are refugees has more than doubled since 2010. And important fact number 3, my bad, for every 100,000 persons, 311 are refugees. And that concludes the first section of today's video, the overview of what reduced inequalities are. Let's move on to the second section of today's video, the 3 main targets that the United Nations has implemented in the achievement of reduced inequalities. Let's get right to it. Now let's move on to the second section of today's video, the 3 main targets that the United Nations has implemented in the achievement of reduced inequalities. Target 10.1, by 2030, progressively achieve and sustain income growth of the bottom 40% of the population at a rate higher than the national average. Target 10.2, by 2030, empower and promote the social, economic, and political inclusion of all, irrespective of age, sex, disability, race, ethnicity, origin, religion, or economic or other status. And target 10.3, ensure equal opportunity and reduce inequalities of outcome, including by eliminating discriminatory laws, policies, and practices, and promoting appropriate legislation, policies, and action in this regard. And that concludes the second section of today's video, the three main targets that the United Nations has implemented in the achievement of reduced inequalities. Let's move on to the third and final section of today's video, progress and information. Now let's move on to the third and final section of today's video, progress and information. This is a section where I'll be speaking about how far the United Nations has come as it relates to the achievement of reduced inequalities. As you all, well, if this is your first time, you may not know, but I will not be reading all the information that I have on this little phone here. However, the link will be left in the description box below, where you can click and view all the information that was mentioned today and more. Let's get right to it. Before the pandemic, modest gains had been made in the reduction of inequality in certain areas. For example, reducing income inequality in some countries and territories, continuing preferential trade status for lower income countries and territories, and decreasing transaction costs for remittances. According to estimates of the International Monetary Fund, the COVID-19 pandemic would increase the average GINI index for emerging market and developing economies by more than 6%, with an even larger impact predicted for low-income countries and territories. The data from 2019 on financial soundness indicators indicated some improvement of overall loan performance, while the levels of capital, which is the main buffer for absorbing losses, remained high despite a slight decline. In 2020, 4,186 deaths and disappearances were recorded along migratory routes worldwide, with an increase in fatalities on some routes. Despite the pandemic and mobility restrictions at borders across the world, tens of thousands of people continue to leave their homes and embark on dangerous journeys across deserts and seas. From 2017 to 2020, the proportion of products exported by the least developed countries and developing countries that receive duty-free treatment has remained unchanged at 66% and 52% respectively. The average global cost of sending a 200 remittance decreased from 9.3% in 2011 to 6.5% in 2020, bringing it closer to the international target of 5%. The average annual decrease was 0.31 percentage points. My bad. And that concludes the end. Well, this concludes the end of the third section and also the end of today's video. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was my pleasure as always to sit before you to bring forth yet another important topic. As usual, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. This is my 22nd video, and trust me, I am grateful that you guys are still here with me throughout this journey. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and also share to your friends, family members, and loved ones. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about inequalities, and also leave any important topic that you'd like me to present on. And finally, most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Remember, one more subscriber equals one more supporter against all the human rights infringements and also the achievement of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you guys so much for being here. Kali loves you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.